Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be working on making a writing board for my wedding journal. I've made one before on camera, but I thought I'd just do it again for anybody who's new and hasn't seen this made before. I think different people have different ways of doing it. I think I got my idea for doing it from Pam at the Paper Outpost. So anyway, I thought I'd show this process again. So all I'm using for my board is a piece of pretty solid, quite strong cardboard or chipboard, whatever you like to call it, and it's just the back of a flip-up pad. It starts off like this with this jaggedy edge, one of these pads that you just tear off the pages, and this is the back. So I've got a few of those from some old pads that I've hung on to, and it's really handy. It's just the right size. Checked it in my back pocket on my journal, and it fits perfectly. So all I've done is cut some papers. I've chosen the papers. These are some of the backing papers that I've used in the journal. These are from, this is from the kit, the Wedding Bliss kit by Liana Scrap. Yes, it's from that. It's one of the backing papers. I think it's really pretty. So there's that side and that side. So all I've done is, it's a little bit, I've had to cut it down obviously, so I've picked the bits I liked. And I like that for the front, and I just think that's quite pretty. I was thinking of using one of the more decorative papers, but I thought perhaps that'd be a bit distracting to use. I don't know. I just thought I'd like this one. So use whatever you fancy, really, for making one of these. And hopefully it'll go as well as the last one did. It's a bit of a stop-start process because I have to let things dry and, cover it in Mod Podge and things like that. So I'm just going to start off just covering. Now I like to do it half at a time, just because it just gives me a little bit more time. I feel a bit more in control if I don't try to do the whole thing, the whole sheet in one go. So I just cover half of it with glue and put on the top half, and then when I know that's straight, I can do the bottom half. So that's my method. Works for me. She says that. And I hope it's going to work. So just try to lay that on so it lines up all across the top and down the sides. Just get my card, smooth it down. That appears to be fitting nicely. So now just to do the bottom half, cover that with glue. So it's a pretty simple process, really. Once you've got everything, I did think about just laying on the sheet and wrapping it around, because I'm pretty sure I've seen that done as well. I think maybe Gail does it that way, I'm not sure, but I thought I'd stick with the method I used before, because I want to cover up the sides, because you see the grey poking out at the sides, even at the top and bottom. Even if you wrap it around, you still get that. You've got to deal with that, just at the sides there. So actually, it's got there's a whole load of glue. May have overdone the glue a bit. I need something to wipe my fingers. So on the last one I did use my gold luster, and I think I might just do the same again, just to cover the sides. That's quite nice. That's covered it nicely. And there's a little, there's a little bit at the side. I'd rather it was a little bit big than not quite fitting, so I might just need to trim that off at the bottom there. There we are. Okay, to the other side. Exactly the same method. So as you see, I've got my my craft mat out because I just thought there's going to be a mess. If there's likely to be a mess because I've got to Mod Podge as well. So I thought I'd do it on here, which is easier to keep clean. Okay, loads of glue. Lay that on, so it's right up the edge at both sides and at the top. Not quite straight on this side. So this is why I only do half, in case it doesn't quite lay, in case I have to make any adjustments. Still not quite straight out in this way. I don't think it's how I cut it. No, it's not lying as flat as I would like. Let's just smooth this out. So I'm hoping that's straight. Let's wipe it along the top there. Excess of glue. Right, and this side. Try to keep the glue as smooth as I can. I think if you end up with lumps, it does show through the paper. Right. Just get my card, smooth that down. I have got a little bit of the board showing at the side, so I'll have to cover that up when it comes to putting a bit of gold around the edge. I'll make sure that's covered up and then you won't notice. Right. Okay, so that's that. A little bit of trimming here. I find it almost impossible to lay anything on completely straight. At least the front went on well, the back one not quite so well. But it'll be fine. A little bit of okay. I need to get myself a piece of white, baby white, because I'm getting a bit sticky fingers. Okay. Let's just make sure I haven't got glue on here. Right, now I'm going to cover the whole thing with a light coat of Mod Podge. I've got that here. Right. I've got quite a nice big brush, so I'll be able to hopefully get it on nice and smoothly. This of course just seals it, and it gives you that nice hard finish, so it can be used for anything really once it's had this coating on, but it can be wiped clean. Just have to watch out for stray bristles coming off. It's not the best quality brush because it's quite soft, so it's quite nice to use on something like this. So there's a few little bubbles appearing. Hopefully they will settle down once it's dry. Okay, don't want to overdo it. I think that's enough. Just make sure I've got some across the edge here. It's important to get the edges protected. Okay, I think that will be okay. So what I'm going to have to do is let that dry, and then do the other side, and let that dry. And once both sides have been covered in Mod Podge and they're dry, then I will come back and do the next stage with you. And this, I mean, it doesn't take very long to do this, but it's just the drying, allowing time for it to dry in between. So I'll be right back, possibly later today, depending on how long it takes. Okay, see you in a minute. Hi, I'm back. The Mod Podge is dried on both sides. This side isn't too bad. It's got a few little bubbles in it. This side is a bit more bubbly. So there is a trick that Pam at the Paper Outpost has shown us to get rid of this. But before I do that, because what it will do is it will leave using wax paper where you iron on the wax. So I want to put the gold luster on first, I think. Round the edge, and then when I do the waxing over the top, I won't do that on camera because I'll have to do it downstairs on my ironing board. So I thought if I do the gold first, and then it'll be sealed when I go over it with the wax paper. So I'm just going to go around the edge. I may not show, this is feeling a little bit dry. I'm wondering if the one I got was a bit old. I think I may have mentioned that. It's going, I haven't had it all that long, but it's quite dry feeling, so I might have to look, see if I can get something else, but hopefully it'll be enough. I just want to put something around this edge because I don't want the cardboard, the horrible brown or grey cardboard to show, really. That's all it is. And I could use some ink, but I just thought gold looks quite nice around the edge there, so that's what I'm going to do. A little bit crumbly, so I might have a little look on Amazon, see if I can find something else. So I'm not sure about this stuff. It's getting harder to get any like a smooth paste onto my finger. It's going a bit lumpy and crumbly. I can't speak. Crumbly. Been a busy day. I've been doing one of in between starting this board and finishing it, or carrying on with it now. I've done another video doing one of Rachel's Roxy weekly challenges, so I've done that in between. So I've been quite busy today. keep swapping over my batteries because they kept run out mid video, which was a bit annoying. So just going around that edge. I'm just sticking to the edge really. Don't really need it to go too far onto the, although I do want to see it. Just want to do it like, got a little edgy bit there, a little bit of paper sticking up there. I might have to deal with that. I'll get the old sanding block out, I think, as well, just to smooth. Although the edges are quite smooth. I did sand it a bit before I started just the board, but there's a few rough bits along here. I can feel it as I'm going along with my finger. There's a few rough bits, so I may have to go over it again with the sanding block. And then I'll probably just have to touch up the gold as well. But I won't do that on camera. That's not going to be very interesting to watch. So I have just gone around the edge. Just go a little bit more. Don't know whether I'm getting a little... Whoops. See, it's all crumbly all over here. Let's get a cloth and wipe it up before I get the splodges all over my board. Although gold splodges are probably not going to be the worst thing to have on there. But I don't want them to be too round, and if I was going to put them on there, I want to do it where I want them. Not where they just land, because that's where because it's so messy. My mat is so messy. Ugh. Right, let's see how this looks. So it's not too bad, but I think, ooh, yeah, no, I don't want anyone. I don't want that on there. At least you can wipe it off with the having Mod Podged it. Right, so I think I'll just leave it at that for the moment. I may have to do a bit of touching up, but I have got a nice little gold edge, little gold finish all the way around. I probably should have done the sanding before I put the gold on. I was in a bit too much of a hurry, so I will sand and then touch up, I think, off camera. And then when I get back, I'll have done the ironing, and hopefully it'll just be a case of putting on the little corners, which is all I'm going to do to finish it off. Right, so I shall be back probably, I'll end up finishing this in the morning because I'm running out of day now. But it won't be any different for you. It'll just carry on to the next part of the video. Okay, I'll be back. Hi there, so I'm back, and I've followed Pam's instructions, and surprisingly enough for me, it actually seems to have worked. There's one or two tiny bubbles there, but the majority have now gone. That's the front, and that's the back, and that's completely smooth, so that's worked really well. I was quite surprised. I'll just go through how I did it. Literally, I followed Pam's instructions, and I will try and remember, I should be all right to link her videos where she really shows you how to do it. But all I did, I took this old breadboard. This is actually my mum's breadboard. This is what we just used to cut bread on. It's quite thick. It's quite a thick piece of board, but I put it on my table downstairs. Instead of using my ironing board, I wasn't sure the ironing board would be strong enough if I had to press down really hard. I was a bit worried it might collapse under me, so I actually did it on my kitchen table, and I used this to protect the table. And then I put that on there, so you can see it's plenty big enough. And then all you do is you get a piece of wax paper and lay it on top, and then a tea towel on top of that. I didn't bring that up because you all know what a tea towel looks like. So put a tea towel on top, because obviously you don't want the wax transferring to your iron. So you put the tea towel over the top, and then just a warm iron, not a hot iron. You just run over the warm iron. In the video, Pam appears to apply quite a lot of pressure to hers, so this is why I was a bit concerned I might not be able to actually achieve the results I was looking for, because I wasn't sure I'd be able to give it enough enough strength to press out the bubbles. But actually, I did the best I could and pressed as hard as I could, and it didn't take me that long. and the bubbles seem to have come out okay. There's just a little bit of bubbling here, but I'm going to put a bit of lace down the side, so it's probably not going to show. So I'm really pleased with the result of that. I'm glad I was able to try it, because the last time I made a writing board, I literally didn't end up with any bubbles, so I was all prepared to do it and then didn't need to. So this time I did need to just try out that method, and it actually seems to have worked for me, so I'm well pleased with that. So that's that. So the next thing to do is I'll just get rid of this Whopping Great board. You can see how old it is. It's. I mean, I can say I remember my mum using that when I was a child. So it's probably one of those things that'll go on forever. Get rid of this bit of wax paper, and I don't know if you can see on here, but you can see that it's sort of a bit white where the ironing has taken the wax off and transferred it onto here. So you get another layer of protection as well on your board, which is quite nice. So I did actually. What's the word? I did use the sandpaper thing, the sandblock, after I'd waxed it when I and smoothed it off a bit more than it was, and then I had to go over with the gold luster again, and then I waxed it after that. So therefore, I think that should all be just around the edges there, at least should be a bit sealed as well, which is quite nice. Because I did both sides. So there we are, that's the board, and then all I need to do now is add these cute little ring corners. I think the gold ones, I have got brass ones, but I think gold, particularly as it's wedding journal, the gold ones, and they're, I just think I love this little design, the little hole, the little cutout bit on it. So I'm going to glue them on first. Last time I did this, if you saw my other video, I did struggle with the pinching in with the pliers because at the back, if you glue it there, at the back it still stands up and you need to pinch in the little back bits. So I may have to disappear off and get my husband to do that, because I'm not sure I'll be able to manage it, but I'll give it a go. But I warned him I might have to come down and get him to just pinch those in for me. So I think, but first of all, I'm going to just put a bit of glue on the I think I'll do it on the board, just to hold it in place. Coming. Use a bit of the Fabri-Tac. So I'm just going to put it along the edges here. It's not wanting to come out. I think it's got a bit bunged up. Right, let's try that. Come on, glue. Borrow my pin from the art glitter glue, I think, and give it a poke. Something that should be a really quick thing just to finish off. It ended up taking longer than I thought, because the glue won't cooperate. Right, let's see if I can get that to come out now. I think it's, there we go, I think it's coming. So a bit along the side, and along that side, and a bit here. I may have some seeping through, but I can wipe that clean. Just hold that in place for a moment so you get that bit of grab, and then we'll just pinch it down on the back after. Try the next one. Must be some sort of banging going outside. I don't know if you can hear that. Don't know what they're doing. Can't really see, but I can hear them. Just try and wipe off the bits of glue that are just seeping out at the side. Okay. Now, just a second, I want to wipe that a little bit. Right, next one. Just hold them for a moment until I get a bit of grab. There we are. And this one. Okay, last one holding it in place. Now I'm going to have a go with the pliers. But if I can't make it work, then I will disappear for a moment and come back. Give this a go. So I've been able to do it with the Tim Holtz corners. No, I'm not going to be able to pinch that in, I don't think. Completely ineffectual. So I'll just go down and get my husband to do his strong arm bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, that's all done. Just popped downstairs and my husband just pinched those corners in for me, as you can see. So all that's left to do is add a little bit of lace down the side. I have to. It's got to be done. I have checked. There is a little bit of room in the pocket to have a little tiny bit of lace popping out. I don't want a lot because obviously we don't want the surface to get too bumpy or anything. So I've picked out a couple of bits of lace that might work. So I thought I'd just try them out. This one might be a little bit wide, and it's not bright white, but it's like a warm white, this one, and it might be a bit too much. I think it is. I think it's a little wide, that one. And I've got this one, which is more of a cream, so I'll just try that. This one might be better. Go that side. I think it needs. Well, I don't know if it matters which side it goes on. I don't want it sticking out too much. Maybe it'd be better on this side, where away from the flowers. And just just put it along there, just to add a little decoration. I think that's what I'll do, just to make it look pretty. What have I done with my scissors? Oh, these are my latest purchase. I thought I could do with a pair of left-handed scissors that I'll try and keep just for fabric. Just got to remember to only use them for that. Because my other ones have gone a bit, I may have mentioned, well, one of my videos I think I've mentioned the other ones I've been using, the other left-handed scissors have gone very stiff. They're really, really stiff, and I don't know whether to try and get a new pair or not, because I'm going to struggle with those if I'm just using them for paper. I may I mean, they weren't expensive, so even if I got a new pair, it's not a big deal. Right, so I think I might just pop that along so it's just poking out the side a little bit, but that would just finish it off, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. Yes, it would, Karen. Yes. I hope you're agreeing with me. On glue. Right. There we are. Whoop. And for some reason it's always easier to do it from the bottom, don't know why, and pull it up. Try and get it straight. I have to trim off just a touch at the top there. Because it always seems to stretch a bit, I think, when you glue it down. It just seems to stretch that little bit. You never need quite as much as you think you do. There we go. Now is it? I think I need to feed a little bead of glue just under that edge, just to make sure. Don't want it catching. Right, I think that's it. Get rid of that little bit. So there we are. There's our little writing board. I think that looks quite nice. Let's see how it looks in the journal. And as I think we have a little bit of time to play with, I thought I might just do my last finishing touches in the journal. And then all I've got to do is make the bag to put it in and do a flip through in the next video. So here it is, and there's my little bowl of yummy things to finish it off, if I can make my mind up as to how I'm going to do that. So first of all, let's pop our writing board in its little pocket at the back here, and it fits beautifully. There we go, look at that. That looks really nice. And that's fitted in. The lace hasn't compromised the fit at all, so that's good. Now, I was saying that I was waiting for I was hoping that the seam binding would arrive so that I might be able to use it to close up the journal. And it has arrived. I'm very pleased. It turned up quite quickly. I thought it might take ages, as it's got such a long way to come with all the hold-ups there have been with things going across the Atlantic. I thought it might take at least a couple of weeks, but no, it was only about a week. So I have got my beautiful seam binding. I've got a bag. I've got these two, so like a teal and a sort of lovely blue, and this is more like a cream. Now I was wondering about this, using this to close it, but I'm veering back towards the sari silk that I tried it out with. The other colours I've got, where are they? They all came in these bags. I had 3 in one bag and 3 in the other. I've still got this one. Look at this colour. I think that's the salmon pink, which is gorgeous as well. I've started putting them on these homemade reels, cardboard reels, just so they're easier to get at, because when they're all tangled up in a bag, you know, you can't even find the end. So I've got a more of an aquary blue. It's a different blue to this one. It's more of a greeny blue, this one, to this one. That's really pretty. And then I have this like a peachy colour, which again is really, which is another option to close. This one I think I don't even know which one I was thinking I might use to close it. So I think I'm still umming and ahhing a bit, but I do like the sari silk as well. And I think the colour of that, I've got two colours here actually. Which colour do I prefer? This is more the cream. And don't even know if it's all one piece. I think it is. It's just a little bit darker at the end. And I think what I'll probably do is use one of the sari silks for the bag. Not sari silks, one of the seam bindings to close the bag. I think that's where I'm veering at the moment. So try and clear away some of this, all these gorgeous pretties, all these. I love this stuff. It's so soft and it's much easier to tie into bows than the ribbon. So I have used a couple of pieces actually in the journal as well, which you'll probably see when I do my flip through right at the end. Okay, so I think I'm going to try using some of this. So I think what we do, I need my tweezers I think. So how long do I need? I'm trying to, because I've not done these like this before. This is how I've seen other people do it. So I need to feed that through. And then, is it going to be long enough? I might give myself a bit extra. As long as I've got enough for the two pieces. Oh, how long is this piece? I've got one piece there, so I've got that. Okay, so I'm trying to talk myself through this. Just make sure I've got enough to tie with. So I may have to trim it off, but I'll just cut a piece. I've still got a piece left. Fold that through here, like that. That's one side, and do the same on the other side. And I'll do it with this piece. I know it's way too long. Maybe I'll shorten it a little. So I've still got myself a decent piece left. Because I want it to be long enough to be able to tie it round and make it into a nice bow, don't we? So I'll feed that one through here. It's a bit tricky, I think. No, I don't think the board is in the way, luckily. I thought for a minute it was going up against the writing board, but I don't think it is. It's just a bit. There we go. I think we're through. Tie that. Right, and then just take off some of this stringy stuff. A bit fluffy. Right, let's just see how well it ties. There we are. Got a nice big tie. You could probably tie it a bit tighter actually, but and I will do, I think, before I send it, but I'll just do it for like that for now. And then all we really need to do is consider whether we need to put anything more on the front. So I had a few little bits, flowers and things knocking around, and I was thinking I wanted to use this sort of here and maybe put a flower. Because when I was trying it out with just a flower here, it just kind of drew your eye down here. But I wondered if I put another flower up here, whether that would balance it out a bit, and then you'd got the colour up here as well. So a little flower there, and then another flower there. I think I quite like that. Because then you just got a little bit more colour on the cover, because it was looking a little bit pale and a bit bland. Just having this little tiny rose here wasn't quite doing it for me, colour-wise. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I hope nobody's out there saying, please don't do that. Just leave it as it was. Because I'm afraid I'm going for it. Got to get the old glitter glue. This is the Fabri-Tac. Get them right. I've had these flowers. I think these are all Prima flowers that I've got here. I've had them for ages, but because they're a little bit bulky, they're not easy to put. I think I probably bought them in my scrapbooking days, and they were just too big and fat. Although they're so lovely, they were too big to go on a scrapbook page. And they're too big to go in a journal, but, you know, if I've got the opportunity to put them on the cover of a journal, I feel I really need to do that. Let's see if it'll... I'm just going to have to hold it in place for a moment. And this stuff is pretty good at sticking fairly quickly, but because it's a bit lumpy, you know, it's kind of a bit pointed at the back there, it might take a bit for it to just completely feel secure. I may have to put some more under the leaves as well. Maybe I should have done that. But I can come back and just poke a little bit under the leaves afterwards. So I'll leave that for now. I've got to put this one on. All I can hear is air coming out of the hole at the moment. I think it's just beginning to, yeah, there it goes. You can feel when it starts to come down, you can feel it get suddenly thick, whereas before it was just puffs of air coming out. Make sure I put plenty on all of these bits and then go around the edges. I've been doing a lot of wedding videos this week. I think I've managed to squeeze 3 or 4 videos into this week for just on this journal. Well, maybe not quite as many as that, but it feels like it. I'm just filming ahead really, because the wedding is only just over a week away now. I really need to get it into the post. I was talking to my friend on the phone, one of my closest friends, and she's also invited to view the wedding. Not quite sure whether it's going to be over Zoom or whether it'll just be streamed so we can watch it, but nobody will see who's in in the audience, I suppose you'd say, whether the guests will be visible or not. So we weren't quite sure how that's going to work. But she agreed with me that it came as a bit of a surprise that they've managed to organise it so quickly. Because she was somebody else I worked with. We all worked together. But this friend I worked with for 20 years. So she's a very good friend now. We're both retired. And we can't wait to get together and just sit and have a proper chat in the garden or wherever we can. I think that's all people want to do now is see their friends and see their... And most of us have managed somehow to... Well, some of us, I'm saying most of us, have at least seen family from a distance. But your friends, you just think, well, we're just having to wait. So I have seen my girls, even though not very often, and obviously it's just been part of a walk. But friends, it's just been over the phone for the last year. There we are. Okay, how secure is that feeling? I think I need to just pop a little bit more glue under here. Should have done that in the first place, I think. I'm not sure if I need it, but I do. A bit under there. Stick those two down. A little bit under this side as well. Just hold that in place for a minute. Oops, don't fall over. Okay. Right, so I think it's all in place. I've got my closure done, got the cover finished. We're nearly there. So one more video where I will be making the bag. And at the end of that, I will do a flip through, or I might do the flip through at the beginning. Who knows? But that will be the last video, and then we'll move on to something else. Don't know what yet. I've got lots of things going around my head what I want to do next, but can't quite decide. But hopefully, by the time I get there, I'll have made my mind up. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me for this video. And please do join me again soon. Bye for now.